Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks so much for watching today. Welcome to Prehistoric Kingdom, and today they released the very first update for beta. So I thought I would jump in here, kind of go over everything that they added, little changes that they made, and that way you guys can keep up with the development of the game and hopefully get your hands on it in April of next year when it comes to early access at that time. So before we jump right on into it, if you enjoy this video, if you find it helpful, go ahead and leave a like down below. It really does help out. And if you're interested in seeing more about Prehistoric Kingdom, there are already some videos up on the channel, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on anything. Now, the first thing you might notice as we're looking at our little Nasutoceratops kind of walking around in this habitat I built real quickly is a waterfall in the back. And that's because, yes, we do have VFX now in game. If you go down to our modular pieces tab, you click on the special tab, you can see here that we do have a couple different waterfall effects. So we have here a waterfall effect, we have a water splash effect, but that's not all. We also have a smoke effect. You can see here, if I let it sit still for just a minute, we got some good smoke effects and a fire effect. Now, my favorite thing about these is that just like everything else, if we bring up our advanced move tool here and we click this little square, we can scale the effect. So you can make a massive waterfall, teeny tiny waterfall. Same thing with fire. Massive fire, really tiny fire. Really cool that those are scalable as well. Now, looking at our little waterfall here, I did want to point out I had a really easy time making this waterfall kind of go in different directions because one, of the scalability, but two, if you see how easily this kind of sinks into the rocks and doesn't stick out too far, that's something that I really like about this waterfall effect that they have done, is that it's really easy to kind of sink in and get it to only show in the little areas that you want. And these rocks make it easy too, with all these little edges and grooves and dips and things like that. Really easy. It probably took me maybe a minute to put this quick little waterfall together. I'm sure if I sunk some time into it, I can make some really cool and interesting things. But I just really like how they did the effect in and of itself. It's really easy to use, really easy to get it to go exactly where you want, and it doesn't have anything that comes with it. It literally is just the effect. So I didn't have to go through and hide any sort of little indicator where the effect comes from. It's just the effect. So that made it really easy as well. Really like seeing that. Now, if we move on to a couple of the next things, if we scoot on over here and look down at this wall that I've placed, first off, I love this brick wall texture, but second off, that's not what's new. The new things are these doors. Now, I did put them down over here. These are the two doors that we already had. We had a clear glass one and we had a wood one, but they have added a couple backstage doors. Really cool. A couple more modern doors. I believe all four of these ones here are modern doors. Actually, I think these three are modern doors. These are the rustic doors. But I really like that we're getting some different styles in. I feel like a lot of the times we're stuck in kind of a modern feel for dinosaurs because we think of having dinosaurs in real life as a futuristic, as a modern thing, but I think it's really cool to add a couple other styles, do kind of an adventure theme, or like they're calling it rustic theme. Really cool to kind of flesh out your parks a little bit, or expand into different themes that you haven't built in yet. So really cool, wanted to show those off for you. And again, just like everything else, if we go ahead and click on them, they are scalable so that you can make them, bigger or smaller depending on what size building you're making. So it just makes it really easy to use these pieces for a wide variety of things. Now, the next thing, you guys know how much I love trees, foliage, rocks, all the nature stuff. Really excited about this because we got some new trees. Now, these ones right here are the redwood trees. If you go down to our menu here and we click on trees and we look at redwood, we already did have this one in game, but it's always nice to have some variety, right? So even with scaling and rotating, it only goes so far. are. So it's nice to have some different textures, leaves pointing in different directions, different sizes. And I love that they added like the little sapling, right? The smaller one. Perfect little addition to this. Same thing with the Scots pine is the next one. So if we look up Scots pine, we already had this one over here, but now we have the other two, because the thing that I did with the Scots pine is I actually took this one, I squished it a little bit and I sunk it into the ground, and I think it makes perfect ground coverage down like this. You guys, if you're familiar with these building games, you are no stranger to the fact that sinking them down into the ground can give you some kind of lower lying foliage, but along with scaling them and sinking them into the ground, I think doing those both together, you can see, gives you some really cool bushes, some really cool low lying foliage. So I will probably be doing a lot of this. But again, with the Scots pine, we also got a teeny tiny one as well. So very excited about that. That's kind of all the build pieces that got added into the game, but that's not all that they fixed and changed. There is a new feature which I am very excited about. So if you click on a group, right, you can see all these rocks are highlighted because they're in one group. I did a really terrible job putting them all in one group, but that's okay. If we go to edit group, previously what I'd have to do is hit shift and then click on all the rocks that I wanted to add. Now, what we can do is I can hit Control A and the whole group is selected, which means I can then scale it, I can move it, I can rotate it all as one piece, which is super helpful and is a massive quality of life update for us builders so that we can kind of speed up our little process there. Oh, we're gonna take a nap right in the water. That doesn't look safe, but that's okay. So that is a really cool update that they added that I'm definitely going to be using a lot. I love that they're listening to the community and adding things that are really going to be helping us as we build in the game. Now there are some other fixes, including a couple other, another construction one, another audio one, and some music updates. So I'm going to go ahead and put those up on the screen right now so you can go ahead and see what is been added, what has been added to the game. But then there's also some changes to the game as well. If you look on the screen now, I'll go ahead and put those up. We got some improved animal pathfinding at lower frame rates. So you'll see if I click on one of these dinos here and we watch it walk around, if you guys caught my animal overview video, I was having some problems with them kind of being shaky, right? They were shaking back and forth as they walked. I'm not having that problem anymore. These guys are much smoother as they walk around. And I'm really happy that they fixed this. Obviously, it was something that they were aware of and were going to fix. I knew that they would, but really happy that it came in our very first update because now these guys walk around pretty smoothly for me. So very cool. Some improved pathfinding too as well, which is nice. These guys are walking around in this habitat just fine. They don't seem to recognize water as water quite well enough yet. Like they drink out of it, but they'll still, like you saw over there, lay in it and everything. I'm sure fixes coming in a future update will address that. But let's just go ahead and continue to talk about some of these updates while we look at our little Nasutoceratops kind of laying around, hanging out in the enclosure. They did adjust some foliage things, so there was some shading problems with the horsetail piece. They've fixed that. Building and scenery, they've removed some noise from rough statue material, reduced emissive brightness of brand signs. So all these are up on the screen right now so you can kind of read through them. Some fixes to rendering, changes to audio. So very cool to see those coming. And then we move on to bug fixes. We have some changes to building and scenery, construction, audio, music, UX. We did get a critical fix, so loading a new level will now reset the terrain, setting a much prettier scenery overall. Very excited about that. So now obviously when you load a new map, it'll be new terrain. Very cool. Previously it kind of kept the terrain from before. So that's kind of cool. Construction, so they fixed a critical issue that caused prefab placement corruption, fixed modular grid graphic sizing issues, all good fixes. Like I said, I'm not going to go into depth on all of these in their entirety, but you can read them on the screen to see what has come. And then very last, performance. So they did do some performance in rendering during nighttime. Frame rate should now be more consistent regardless of time of day. What I did notice that they added as well, and I don't know what bullet point it is exactly here, but if we go back in here and we look at the access weather, we now have this use weather down here, this little button. I'm pretty sure that this was not there before, because I remember having to change it back and there wasn't really this little button. Maybe I'm missing it, but I feel like that wasn't there. Those of you watching my videos, go back, let me know. Am I crazy? But if not, very excited about this button. So use weather, not use weather. That way, as I'm doing videos like this, I don't have to worry about it starting to rain in the middle of our video. We already had this use day-night cycle so that we could turn that on or off. So very excited about that. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I am going to try my very best to keep you guys updated on the updates that they bring to beta as we go ahead and play through. I'll also be continuing our speed builds, of course, so that we can kind of continue to get in here, be creative, and see what we got going on. Again, I'm going to answer it because I get questions every single video, regardless of how many times I answer it, but this is a closed beta, meaning that if you don't already have your hands on it, you're going to have to wait until it comes out middle of next year, early next year, hopefully is what we're aiming for. I think they've said April of 2022, and at that point is when you'll be able to play the game. So, as I said before, I will try to keep you updated on everything that comes out. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you do enjoy the video, leaving a like down below really does help me out. And if you're interested in more Prehistoric Kingdom content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. If you want to chat about it more, have things you want to update me on, or just overall keep updated on smaller things that I'm not going to make entire videos on, I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, and all those links are down in the description below, and I hope to see you guys over there as well. So that is it from me. Until next time, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!